Welcome to another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit, and we are in the last days, boys and girls. Last days of the beast existence. And this is the level that I'm on. You know, if you are on the 1,000-watt Bobby Hemmit frequency, and if you're not, you're going to apologize, rationalize, and kowtow and bow to the beast. Anyway, the ancestors just gave me a download. Well, they gave me the download last night because you get the downloads at night through your melanin while you're asleep. But you can get downloads while you're awake too. You're going to hear a very faint tonal sound in your ear. And that information is directly from Bobby Hemmit. He said that you are going to have a little slight ringing, but it's not ringing. Okay? It's a tonal sound. It's like, it's a constant vibration, like the echo from a bell, a very high-pitched bell, and then you'll just hear it. It's just, you know what? It's just like when you get your ears tested, and there's this sound that's just a constant sound. That's what's happening. You're going to actually be able to feel it. You're going to be able to sense it, feel it, hear it. Anyway, from whatever downloaded last night, I just got the epiphany that for the decoding for Facebook. Because boys and girls, first of all, this world is run by magic. And magic is just the natural science of the universe using the formulas for energy. Energy for destruction and energy for creation. But it's not just that. There's a God over the material world. There's an energy God for every aspect of emotion, color, the alchemy of bringing chemicals together for elements. All of those are vibrational frequencies. And when you know how to put it together, voila, you got magic. Magnetism, the use of magnetism. So, first of all, Bobby Hemmit explained that the beast has a dal de bras, the energy of the material world. The person the God of the material world is what the elite are using. And when they say, "In God we trust," you got to know which God they're talking about. They're talking about a dal de bras, which another name for him, for that MFer, is Yahweh. Sorry to tell you that, but that's straight scholarship from Bobby Hemmit. So anyway, let me get to the point here. The ancestors gave me the decoding just all of a sudden. This just popped in my mind because I was looking up my own Facebook account, which I barely ever look at. I look at that thing maybe 2 times a year. And there's a certain reason I had to log in order to try to look up something else on Facebook. Okay. Facebook. This is the decoding for Facebook, boys and girls. Your face. What is behind your face? It's not really your face. What's behind your face? What's inside your face? Your skull. And what's inside your skull, boys and girls? Your brain. And what's inside your brain, boys and girls? Your pineal gland. That's the decoding, boys and girls. It is a super, super distractive, general, obtuse way, metaphorically talking about the pineal gland. Because, well, it's your third eye, so you could, you could think about it like that. But they couldn't call it third eye book. Boys and girls, book. What is a book? It's something that holds knowledge, something that holds gnosis, something that holds records, boys and girls. Data. Boys and girls, the term Akashic records is basically just talking about your melanin, the memory that is stored in your melanin that you are unfortunately disconnected from spiritually because you're a walking zombie and you have just, you've been beat down. You got, I don't really have another way to explain it, but it's magic. It's the forces of the universe used against you, as well as the physical beatdown, as well as getting trapped in the material world, or feeling that you're trapped because you don't know how to get out of it. And I mean that literally. You are trapped down here because you're under you have lost the connection to the spiritual world physically. Like Bobby Hemmit said that the vibratory rate slowed down so much that you kind of got stuck here, and the spiritual world was something you couldn't even see anymore. When once upon a time that was the opposite. You were able to see the spiritual world just as easily as the material world. You could bounce back between either one of those anytime you wanted to. So that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit. Facebook, the decoding for Facebook, very obtuse. But let me add this, boys and girls, because last weekend or so I got the download from Microsoft without even thinking about it. Micro means small. Soft is soft, right? Now, is your pineal gland small? Yes, it is, boys and girls. Is it soft? Yes, it is, boys and girls. That's how the motherfuckers came up with Microsoft. Very clever stuff, because there are endless metaphors and descriptions. And what else do they call it? Allegories. Idioms. Using one thing to describe another. There's so many creative ways that they use to talk about your fucking pineal gland. Microsoft. Have you ever, most people don't, thought, how did somebody come up with that name? That name sounds stupid. It's not stupid. Because you don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You don't know where they're getting it from. These people, they have access to the gnosis from ancient Egypt, your origin, the origin of the world. And they have the God energy of Adalderbra on their motherfucking side. Because I always thought, well, these people are just motherfucking caveman, Frankenstein, bovine, canine motherfuckers. How can they control every fucking thing? Because they're using the magic of another god that is the houser, container, and prison maker of the material world. And they're probably using more than one, but Bobby Hemmit explained. Now, unfortunately, right now, a lot of my audios, I deleted from the phone because it would flood the phone too much. But I do have a video on decoding Yahweh. I think it says decoding Yahweh. And Bobby Hemmit tells you Adal-Dabra is Yahweh. Yahweh is Adal-Dabra. Those are synonymous names. Because over time, boys and girls, after the invention of language, things change. I mean, black people are inventing all kinds of goddamn language right now. A lot of it's slang, but a lot of it becomes actual words in the dictionary. And a lot of it I don't really like because it's just because people overuse the words and there's just too many cliches. But my point is that language changes, evolves, and gets new words get added. And so the names of gods have changed throughout time. However, thanks to Uncle Bobby, we know that they are synonymous. They are synonymous. Soot, Satan, Satan. You know what two words go together with that? Soot and Anubis. Soot is the original god. Anubis is a secondary god. And I also made a video about that. I got the revelation about that. In my revelation, Soot is the body form. Anubis is the pineal gland form. Anubis is the pineal gland deity. And another thing, boys and girls, is that that there's it's not a hieroglyphic, I'll just say a glyph. I don't know what you call the actual paintings on the temple walls of Egyptian temples, but there's a graphic, okay, a stone carving, whatever. It's painted on the temples of Anubis, and maybe he has an ankh or something, and he is over the pharaoh. He's standing over the pharaoh. And most people, or these beast people, they are telling you that Anubis is the god of the dead, but he's actually both. All these gods have a death, life, rebirth, immortality to them. So yeah, you can call him the god of the dead. But they were making it like he was doing a burial ceremony or a funeral ceremony. And my revelation is that he wasn't doing that, boys and girls. It is showing you that Anubis, your melanin, the energy of your pineal gland, the protector, your soul, that little voice inside you that we don't ever listen to, was coming to see him like at night. That's my interpretation. That he wasn't dead. It was preparing him, but it wasn't showing that he was dead. Even if I gotta see. I don't know if it's a sarcophagus, but it doesn't matter. It's representational. Anubis comes at night, usually, because they even know time cycles of the regulation and the of your pineal gland to different organs. They even know that. So, the melanin also puts you to sleep. So, that proves my point. If you are doubting what I'm saying, or you're missing the point of what I'm saying, or you can't grasp it. Melanin is what makes you fall asleep. So there's a certain energy and a certain time that melanin is secreted. Or there's a certain kind of melanin, I would say, a certain kind of melanin with a certain energy that makes you fall asleep. Just and that goes for, there's an energy of time that makes the animals go to sleep. They have melanin too. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. Just a little trivia. Did you know that the skin of a polar bear is really black? Underneath his white fur is all black. I never knew that, boys and girls, but I was digging into some animal videos, and I looked up one about polar bears. And what do you know? It was trivia on animals, and it said polar bears are really black. Underneath that white fur is all black skin. Well, boys and girls, that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit. You will increase in consciousness on whatever level you are at. And I'll just have to title this Facebook Decoded. Although I ended up mentioning some other things as well, because I said, why not? There's some other little golden nuggets that could be shared. And, you know, every bit of information that you could learn is going to open up your spirit. It's going to expand your spiritual growth. It's going to wake you up. It's going to connect to anything else that's inside of your pineal gland to say, aha, eureka, light switches come on. Another light switches come on. I have another decoding too, but I'm not going to say it. It's about rock and roll. I should just go ahead and say it. Okay, another download from the universe is that fucking song called Rock and Roll. Wait a minute. We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. What the fuck is rock and roll, boys and girls? It is a description for war and violence. Like, beat you with a fucking rock and roll your fucking ass over. That's what rock and roll is. And the vibration of rock music is a very low vibration. It's a low, degenerate vibration. And maybe I shouldn't say degenerate, but it's a low vibration. It's a low vibration. It isn't like a healing sound. And I'm talking about traditional rock and roll. I'm talking about, you know, the kind that you want to cover your ears up. Maybe AC/DC or some shit like that. That's the kind of rock and roll I'm talking about. The one that doesn't have a rhythm, a genuine, harmonious rhythm. You know, it's just a whole bunch of screeching shit. Anyway, boys and girls, if you want me to decode something, well, I don't know how long I'm going to remain on YouTube. I don't know how long I'm going to remain on YouTube, but always feel free. If you want me to decode something, bring it on, because I can fucking decode it. And if I can't, the ancestors are going to give me the answer in about a week. They're just going to give me the answer. I can decode any celebrity's name. Some of the, I haven't decoded everybody's, but pretty much everybody's I can decode. Even Mahalia Jackson. Mahalia Jackson. I don't know why I'm fumbling over my words. Mahalia Jackson. If you know anything about black people, she was a gospel singer. What is her name? Ma. Because after you know the names of God's boys and girls, you can decode things. Because the phonemes have an actual meaning, a meta-netter meaning. They have an ancient Egyptian meaning. The words that you're using now, the phonemes in there have a meta-netter meaning. Ma, mama, ma out. Balance. Hail or hell is the body. Hail is the body. And Yah is raw. That's it. Jackson, you know what? Jackson. Son is talking about S-U-N. But Jack, Cadge. That one, the letter J is not a real letter. Is the letter J a real letter? No. The letter J is a later invention. So you have J-A-C, Ka. Maybe it's Ka, Jack. Jack. Maybe it's Ka. If I remember right, I think Ka means body too. I think the Kaaba. I have to research. I forgot what Bobby Hemmit said, what Ka means. It either means body or black. The Kaaba. I think it Kabbalah. Anyway, that ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit in 22 minutes. It was way longer than what I wanted to make, but I have to share the knowledge, the gnosis, while I can, which is genes of Isis. Gnosis. It's geneosis. It's really geneosis, but they have us doing stupid shit. Having letters that don't have a motherfucking sound so they can distort the language and fuck up people's minds. That ends another episode of What I Learned from Bobby Hemmit. All thanks to Bobby Hemmit. I'm on a different stratosphere because of him. I'm on a different stratosphere, and my patience is very thin with this world and the idiots in this world. I mean, the idiots and the madness is just outrageous. It's so outrageous. But anyway, the end.